Bandai Namco sisters, what are we doing? You allowed yourself to be deceived by the HR hags that whisper poisonous words into your ear. They've managed to gaslight you into thinking that this is what the modern audience wants. You alienated 99% of your customers in favor of the modern audience. Was it worth it? What do they bring to the table? How do they make you happy? This is what we are witnessing in 2024. We got an old game that was made 5 years ago with a smaller team, smaller budget, and yet, even today, it has more people playing it than the people that have gaslit you that character design doesn't matter, that wokeness is just like something that you shouldn't talk about, that you need to hire the wokest people, not the most competent people, that racist and bigotry have no place at the office, and racist and bigotry can mean whatever the fuck we want it to mean. Like, if some coder that actually knows his job, if some guy that actually made this masterpiece has said something offensive on Twitter 9 years ago, you should fire his ass and hire 5 more HR ladies. And then you wonder why your game is shit, why it lacks any creativity, why no one wants to play it. But the interesting thing is the meltdown of the alleged fans. And yes, apparently there are at least 2 people that have played the game. I don't know if anyone actually paid money to play it, because when I looked at the reviews, most of them got a free copy, and there was also a bundle that if you purchase a new graphics card, you get the game for free. So it's very difficult to even calculate how much earnings did this company have over this new video game called Awakening. But again, you're not supposed to talk about wokeness at all. You're not supposed to mention it. However, the other side is supposed to constantly, non-stop talk about bigotry and racismus, because it's not about creating an entertainment product. It's about like creating a Rorschach test. It's like, do you like the game? Do you support it? Because if not, you are suffering from bigotry and racismus. Get help. Go touch grass, you gooner. How dare you not purchase the holy product from the American corporation, or in this case is Japanese. I don't even know. It's a melting pot, right? It's like a disgusting sludge that just keeps infesting everything to the point where you can't even tell. Like, you used to be able to tell if something is made from Japan or if something is made from America. And now you just can't. The same shit everywhere. Manly jawlines galore, ugly character designs, games filled with bugs, microtransactions over microtransactions, thinking how they can rape your wallet a little better. I just can't tell. But anyway, there's this person which posted something very interesting about bigotry and racismus. Like, these people, they don't know how to code. They don't know how to build a gazebo. They don't know how to be a plumber or a trucker or do something useful for society, but they are experts in bigotry and racismus. My God, you ask them about it and they won't just stop talking. Like, their entire worldview is filled with World War II, Marvel movies, bigotry and racismus. So apparently, he hopes that we are happy. All the hate and racismus have destroyed the hopes and dreams of a small developer who just wanted to share a great story and adventure with us. But now they won't, because me wanted to cause chaos and watch the world burn. The level of entitlement is absolutely disgusting. Like, just because someone wants to make something, you're basically saying that I should be forced to give them my cash. Though after I toil in the wage cage and work hard, you want to rip away that money from my family and give it to the American corporation. It's not like something that I would want to do, it's something that I must, because some developer somewhere has made the game and I must buy it. I find this absolutely fascinating, the concept that you believe working at a AAA company actually allows for creativity. Like, you are so disconnected from the industry and you do not know how things work. This is not like some random developer that have an idea, you know? This is not the coffin of Ashley and Lele. This is not Five Nights at Freddy's or Minecraft where, you know, like some creative genius actually came up with the product and put it out there. For instance, Helltaker, right? Like, just some random bloke made the game and put it out there. No, it's a greedy DEI-infested corporation. And they're greedy because they need to stuff the face filled with food for those DEI consultants. They need to gorge themselves on our money, my money. That's what you're saying. I need to stuff the face of DEI consultants, feed themselves and their family while they ruin my games. In order to show that I don't have racismus and bigotry. I genuinely don't give a fuck. I know this is shocking. I know this is surprising, but I'm going to hold on to my money. By the way, if I'm racist, why do they need racist money anyway? How can they sleep at night? Am I not doing them a favor? Am I not doing them, first of all, the favor that they don't have to sleep with a guilty conscience that they took racist money? And secondly, isn't it better that their audience is more diverse now? Like, I, as a cisgender heteronormative man, by not playing their game, I fixed the percentage quota. There are now more minorities, people of color, trans individuals that are playing the game simply because I removed myself from the equation. Like, this is very important, right? Like diversity can't just be behind the curtain. It can't just be with the people that make the game. Diversity requires to be with the people playing the game. This is equitable, right? So, couldn't let this game have a female dressed like a decent person despite having so many games with your generic half-naked, unrealistic Korean tune. Name the games. Why do I constantly have to go to Korea to play games? Whatever happened with Neverwinter Nights, Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate, the second one, not the third one? Like, why is it that if it's made in America, it has to have hags and they have to look despicable? What is with this new aesthetic that we're seeing all AAA games just constantly making 65-year-old ugly women with manly jawlines, no tits, no ass, and I need to support this with my money? Like fine, you know, if people genuinely like this, that would be one thing, but it really upsets you that people genuinely don't like it. Because again, I keep saying this over and over, it's not about character design. It's about being subversive, like pretending that they're not doing gender abolition, which is what they are. This is why you get the pronouns. This is why Nexus Mods freaks out if you remove the pronouns. They actually call it, it's part of inclusivity, right? Like, their idea is that people do not like rotten apples. So if they put rotten apples everywhere, on every table, in front of your nose, on every plate, there's a rotten apple with a worm coming out of it, eventually it will be so normalized that people will start enjoying rotten apples. But what really pisses you off is when you notice that people don't like it, and even though it's still under their nose, they hate it and they reject it. So now you come up with these bizarre arguments, bringing pornography into the conversation. Like an unhinged person that only knows like 2 lines. It's like, oh, the Gooderism, Korea. And also notice how when the Western developer wants to make something, he is a creative spirit, he's a creative soul, right? But when the Korean makes something, it is disgusting, it is just like a Korean tune, it is horrible. Fuck off. You know, like, this is why I dislike this type of rhetoric so much. It's like, yeah, we pretend to care about game developers, but only the ones that hire consultants. The Koreans don't hire consultants. They must be bad people. You know, look at the disgusting Stellar Blade character that they made. And I also want to point out another thing, and I will repeat this ad nauseum because it's like the best talking point that ever exists. You got your Western games where you have big fat cocks on display, right? Like, you got penis sliders, you got naked men, you got muscular, buffed, naked men, sex with bears. You got Abby being raw-dogged from behind. You have, like, The Witcher naked in a bathtub. You got, like, all this shit, and you got actual pornography in Western games on the PlayStation. And meanwhile, you got Stellar Blade, right? Like, you got a pretty lady that's dressed provocatively And that is the problem, right? Like the pretty lady dressed provocatively just blows these people's minds and it causes them to go into a meltdown. All of a sudden, they find Christ for those 5 seconds that they moralize you before going back to their own smut, before going back to their furry shit, their queer stuff, like anything else that's not heteronormative. Like, I look at these people's accounts on Twitter. They are some of the most thirsty motherfuckers in existence. It's just that they are disgusted by heteronormativity. And they like to morally lecture other people about like, oh, being heteronormative is so wrong. It's so bad, right? But with their stuff, that's perfect. That's fine. Show them more naked vampires like Alistair or whatever. So look at this. Don't you get it? People's jobs are at stake. It's like, hold on a little bit. Again, if I were to take, and I keep giving this example, and I don't even know if I need to find a better one, but like if I go to take a shit in the bathtub, and I get an entire studio to film it, and it's in 4K, and we get like the best lighting and sound effects, and it's really well done from a cinematographic point of view, right? When I sell the product, if no one wants to buy it, do I get to complain? Do I get to say, well, you need to buy it? Because think about it, people's lives are at stake. It's not interesting how they never complain when the diversity consultants fire talent. Like when they fire the people that then created Comicsgate. Like say what you want about Ethan Van Sciver and the likes, but he did sell a comic for $1 million. Like that is a talent you shouldn't fire just because they're a conservative on Twitter. Or Gina Carano, or Kevin Sorbo, or like the list of all the talent that can't work in the industry just because they're not woke. You don't seem to care about those people for some reason. Like for the last 4 years, in almost every single entertainment company, there used to be a person that was there as a pillar of the community that actually managed to make the games great. And then they would get fired over accusations with no evidence, over things that they joked about on Twitter, over, like trivial shit. And you didn't seem to care. I didn't see these people coming out to say, hey, this is not fair, this is not okay, No. But now that the diversity consultants are getting, the games that they are making aren't selling, crickets. And by the way, again, when the left boycotts, they start harassing people. Like Gina Carano was receiving harassment. Look at Asmongold. He's getting death threats and shit. Right? Like, they make lists and blacklists and all of the stuff. The only thing that the bigoted right-wingers are doing is not buying the game. We can stay disinterested longer than you can stay solvent, and it pisses them off so much because there's nothing they can do about it. They can't, physically take the money away. They can't get you fired. They can't do anything besides cope and seethe. And I love this, when Square stops making games for PC, who's gonna laugh? Well, we already established that we're playing the Korean shit. I mean, it's already getting to the level where I'm playing mobile games. I saw a Command & Conquer trailer. I thought it's really great, and I was like, whoa, how the fuck are they making Command & Conquer? And look, the women look like women. Oh my god, Tanya actually looks like a female. And then I realized, oh, it's made for the phone games. It's a phone game. Oh, I see. So if this is what it takes, so that PC games are only going to have like some indie games and AA titles and all the AAA shit will move to mobile, it is what it is. I mean, I can't stop it. I guess we'll play more Wukong and Chinese games because they seem to get their shit together. They seem to still know how to make games. And let the left, fight racism and bigotry over the phone. And by the way, racism and bigotry, what's the problem with it in entertainment? Like, if it's fictional, right? Like, what exactly is the problem with it? You're saying that Postal shouldn't be made? You're saying that GTA shouldn't be made? You're saying that South Park is a problem? You're saying that Beavis and Butthead is an issue? Racism and bigotry, yes, have won because it can be entertaining. I have seen entertaining shows with racism and bigotry, such as South Park. I have never seen something woke that's entertaining, though. It's usually incredibly cringe, preachy, moralizing. Because at least with the racism and bigotry, you laugh at the situation. You're like, oh my god, how could he say that? Ha ha ha. But when someone is moralizing and lecturing you through the computer screen, That doesn't feel entertaining at all. You know, when someone shows you an ugly female character and implies that you gotta like it, implies you need to spend money on it, because, like, yeah, the new Poison Ivy, we're going to make her look like Greta Thunberg, and you need to stop complaining, because if you do, you're Gunnar, or now she's a child, and you can't have any sort of thoughts, even though she's Poison Ivy, right? Like, it's just like, why are you even doing that? Why are you writing that in? Fuck is wrong with you? And again, it was such a, you know, like the Suicide Squad. If you don't know, they actually made Poison Ivy look like Greta Thunberg. And it's like, it's so bizarre. It's like, oh, well, but the lore, the story, you can write literally anything you want. And you took like the most seductive character in DC Comics and made her into Greta Thunberg. And then also had Harley Quinn lust over her, even though she looks like a child. That's just like cringe. It's like, who wrote that? Whose fan fiction is that shit? And then you're wondering why people aren't buying it. God. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I'll see you in the comments section. Take care.